Let's talk about conscious relating. What is conscious relating? Conscious relating is when we relate through our hearts and also through wisdom. It's when you know the rules and you play the game, but not in a manipulative way. It's not about making somebody to do something for you or succumbing to your will or just making yourself happy. Actually, one of my favorite sayings in Tantra goes like this: the greatest happiness of the tantric lover, which is a man, is to make his beloved happy, and the greatest happiness of a tantric lover, which is a woman, is to make her beloved happy. So in conscious relationship, we relate with this idea, with this aspiration always in our heart, and we become the space, the foundation, the basis for this transformation to happen. Conscious relating is not just about having a relationship, it is much more than this. The relationship in Tantra is used as a tool to reach higher levels of consciousness. It is also a way to reflect ourselves, so it's also a mirror in which we can see our limited ideas, our challenges, our fears, all these things that we cannot see in ourselves. The other person becomes a trigger for all of these things to come up in consciousness and to be transformed in order for us to be able to be lighter, happier, more fulfilled in our lives. When we are relating consciously, communication becomes very important. Not a communication which is blaming the other one for everything that is happening, but a communication which is a deep and honest sharing of what is going on inside of us and how we can transform this and go through this together. In conscious relationships, we don't have problems, but we have lessons that we need to learn from. The conscious couple is not afraid of the challenges that naturally come in the couple's life. On the contrary, they embrace them and they use them as an engine for transformation, for learning much more about themselves and for coming closer to each other. In conscious relationship, the love, instead of starting from being a lot and slowly diminishing to being less and less present in our lives, starts from being a lot but then keeps growing. In conscious relationships, we learn what are the needs of the other gender, of the person who is with us, what are our needs, and how we can meet in the middle. By relating consciously to one another, we don't leave so much space for ego, jealousy, possessiveness, hatred to happen, but instead we open the space for love, for goodness, for sublime erotic experiences which are leading us to amazing fulfillment and happiness that we never even dreamed of. We do not suppress our manifestations, but we become more and more able to control them. We become aware of them and aware of ourselves and of the other one. This is the best way to relate to the other one from a conscious place, from a place of centeredness inside of ourselves, and not from a place of lack or of grabbing on to the other person. We are not looking into the other person to validate our existence, to give us a sense of meaning. We are not looking into the other person to blame them for all of our problems, but on the contrary, we are relating to the other person by being aware of our shortcomings, of our challenges, our even traumas, and that person becomes the foundation for us to grow, to overcome all these things. By aiming to make the other person happy, we also discover an extraordinary sense of happiness and fulfillment which is inside of us. We realize that the true source of happiness always is and exists inside of us, and it is reachable if we know how to look and where to look. The other person does not become the center of our world, but we are becoming two which are dancing together into this world. We are becoming two which are doing the things together. We are no longer isolated in our own little shell. We are no longer having to keep secrets from the other person because we feel that we can be understood, we can be seen, we can be accepted, and we can be loved. When you relate consciously, you don't only give your body to the other person, you don't only relate in a physical way, but you also open up to a very deep level, to the level of your soul. The level of depth that we can reach with one person is incredible and it's never ending. The more we explore and discover that mysterious universe of the other human being, the more things we see are revealed to us. Every human being is a reflection of the entire universe in a small scale. And when we begin to discover and explore that inner universe of the person whom we love, we discover that this is a never-ending story. Can you imagine what it would be like to be with your beloved for years and keep discovering new things about him or her every single day? Can you imagine what it would be like to be in a relationship in which you feel so loved and safe and seen, accepted, admired, understood, trusted, in order to truly open up your heart? This is one of the most beautiful gifts we can ever receive in the world, and it is accessible to us here and now. If it is so beautiful and if it is so accessible, why doesn't everybody have it? Well, the thing is that there are certain forces in the universe that are working whether we know it or not. For example, right now, the force of gravity is acting upon you, whether you know it or not, whether you agree with it or not. These forces are affecting our life all the time. The same forces are also manifesting in our relationships. When we start to learn how these forces work and how we can create more attraction, more love, more conscious relating with the other person, then we can begin to have a little glimpse into this amazing experience of having a conscious relationship. At some moment in our life, we come to realize that happiness is meant to be shared, and everything that we experience by ourselves is not half as good as when we share it with a person that we truly love. When we relate consciously, we tap into the force of the universe. How can you start to relate consciously today, starting from this moment? The first step you can take is to start becoming aware of yourself. Start taking responsibility for your thoughts, for your emotions, for your actions. Remove the blame from any other person for what is happening inside of you and start transforming your inner world. By taking charge of ourselves, we become more conscious, and this is the basis and foundation for being able to relate consciously also with other human beings. It is said that when you want to see a change in the world, first you need to make a change inside of yourself. And it's the same about relationships. You cannot truly relate and connect to another human being when you are not able to connect and be honest with your own self. So start today by being honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Acknowledge your challenges and limitations, not with guilt or shame or in a victim-like state. Just acknowledge them with awareness, with detachment. Realize, this is a limitation. I need to work on this. What can I do about it? As you do this, you will see how your relationships start to transform.